Let me bring you up to speed. My name is Wayne Campbell. Ah, the Mirthmobile. This is my best friend, Garth Elgar.
Hi.
But what I'd really like to do is something extraordinary. Something big, something mega, something copious, something capacious, something kajunga. But I'll probably end up working at Great America, mopping up hurl and lung butter. Yeah. Huh. Oh, I almost forgot. This year, Garth finally got pubes.
You didn't tell him about my pubes, did you?
Swing!
What's up, everybody? Welcome to our show, the Rhythm Section Podcast. That's Jeffrey Ward.
That's Mr. Derek.
How are y'all doing tonight? Hopefully you are watching this at Sidecar Memphis. What's going on, everybody out there? We're going to talk about this in a few minutes here. But first, let's talk about where we can be found, Jeff.
Yeah, Facebook and YouTube. Obviously, we say this every week. Hopefully you got it by now. Audio, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, and Pandora.
You can find all of those locations and our YouTube channel on Linktree, 6 p.m. Central, every Monday, both Facebook and YouTube video presentation. Join our tip jar if you want to support. It's $1 a month. Click that Patreon link for more information. Plus, we have merch, everybody. Go to our good friends Boba Cream and check out our shirts, hats, coffee mugs, and tumblers. Yep. It's 131 West Commerce Street, Hernando, Mississippi. And for more information on them, go to msbobacream.com. And parental discretion is advised, everybody.
Yeah.
What's up, Jeff?
Man, not much. How are you?
Good. So we're going to give a quick shout out because anyone that's watching this in real time, every one of our fans is at Sidecar Memphis right now, right?
Yeah.
The dillions of fans we have. But what's going on, everybody? Hopefully everyone's paying attention. I'll understand if we stop paying attention to this. Quite honestly, I kind of hope that's the case because I'm a little embarrassed to hear my voice through a PA.
Yeah.
But thanks for hanging out. We're going to do our show like we normally do, but and then talk about how this whole thing came to be. But
find Shawn Few in the room, give him a big hug, slap him on the ass, do something. He'll love it.
And so hopefully we're going to have a good time tonight. So again, thanks for being here, whoever is at Sidecar Memphis.
Yep.
Well, awesome, man. Our guest that you will see tonight is Shawn Few.
Yes.
So he's a pretty well-known cat around town, don't you think?
Yeah. Also known as Paul Stanley when he goes into character.
Well, he does this hand thing, right?
Yeah.
Right, Shawn? Formerly known as 6 Feet Thunder.
Yep.
And we'll get more into him. But first, let's, again, the watch party that everyone's watching right now was your idea, Jeff.
Yeah.
And I found out the same time everyone else did.
Hopefully you and I aren't sitting in Sidecar by ourselves right now.
Yeah, I'm glad that you made a major decision like that without me.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Sometimes.
Thanks for that. Mm-hmm. And now my voice is going through a PA system that is next level weird for me.
Mm-hmm. And I'm enjoying every minute of it.
So this is our third one. First one was at your house.
Yeah.
For the Jimmy Fulp episode.
Yes, it was.
Then we have who said he's not going to be here tonight because he's too tired.
Yeah. I think he played 5 gigs in one weekend.
Yeah.
So
yes. When we're recording this, it was a Thursday. No, it was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
2 on Sunday.
Well, he has church. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this isn't about Jimmy.
No. I love you, Jimmy. He's throwing you under the bus. I think you're great.
Jeez. So, and the second one was at, we're shitting on Jimmy, but it was at Jimmy Fulp's house.
It's his house.
Thank you, Jimmy and Donna, for having us.
Actually, it's Donna's house. She just lets Jimmy stay there.
And then now, number 3, in a bar. So thank you to Sidecar Memphis.
Yes, we do appreciate you guys for giving us a chance to do this.
Yeah, so great. I hope y'all are having fun. And look, I'm having fun right now meeting you.
That's so weird.
I know, right? So that's a very strange,
Great Scott!
Yeah.
I mean, the timeline deal is weird. Like, we're talking to an audience that isn't there yet.
All right.
Anyways. All right, so let's move on, dude. And I thought it'd be fun to kind of talk about our downloads. What do you think?
Sure.
This is audio only. This isn't the YouTube channel.
And this is brand new to me. I'm just learning about this today.
Yeah, just on a whim, I wanted to go into our Podbean account. Any podcaster out there knows what that platform is. But in essence, it's the platform you upload your audio into. And then when you hit publish, it feeds all of the channels that we keep talking about.
Right.
That way, we're not we're not uploading it individually to iTunes and Spotify. So there's a analytics page that you can poke around in, and it's fairly accurate. But I found this was to be interesting. So not including the United States, we have downloads in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 other countries.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no doubt. So I'm going to go in order of downloads.
And then it
here.
says unknown. I don't know where that is.
Yeah, I was going to get to that. Thanks for stealing my thunder.
Well,
So United States, 1,164. Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Now it drops considerably down to Singapore, 18 views. Netherlands, 15. United Kingdom, 12. You made a who was out in United Kingdom?
Yeah, it was Danny Vaughn.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure we can thank him for those, and I'm sure that'll grow.
Indonesia, 3. India, we got 2 downloads in India, and then we have a string of 1 downloads: Brazil, Germany, Finland, France, Japan, Romania, Turkey, and South Africa.
Yeah,
each country has 1 download, and then, like you mentioned, there's unknown with 10 downloads.
Yeah, I don't know. How do you can know all of those other countries and then have 10 unknown?
To the wrestling fans out there,
Okay.
that's where the Ultimate Warrior was from.
Parts unknown.
Parts unknown.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe, it's his relatives.
Yeah.
So I thought that would be interesting to kind of show, it's not massive global reach.
No, but it is global.
It is funny to see all of those countries listed like that. But
Yeah.
So
Next,
right on, man.
next time we check, hopefully Germany will have 3 instead of 1. Maybe it'll grow.
I think Japan would be cool.
Yeah.
Let's get an audience in Japan. So, all right, man. Monsters of Rock Cruise.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
We both wish we were there.
Mhm.
I made a post on Facebook earlier today that just said, I'm going to put this out there. Everybody that's on the Monsters of Rock cruise can kiss my ass. And Matt Montgomery posted back with a set of big red lips.
I love it.
They're having a great time, man. We're jealous. We're so glad you guys are getting to do that, and we plan on doing it. We're going to make it happen at some point.
So another timeline situation. As we record this, it's fixing to start. By the time we are watching this at Sidecar Memphis,
it's over.
It's over.
Yeah.
But
hopefully Matt Montgomery's with us here at Sidecar.
That'd be kind of cool.
And,
what's up, Matt? If you are here, or just hello in general.
But he posted a picture of that he was wearing one of our shirts on the cruise. That was really cool.
It is so cool.
And I've had him. He sent me a picture of him with Danny Vaughn. Said Danny says hi. I'm like, damn, man, I want to be there.
Now before the show, we were talking about last year's, or no, we were talking about doing this one.
Yeah.
It was this one we were thinking of doing.
We were wanting to.
Yeah, well, thinking of doing. Like, we had the decision to make. We were allowed to, and you checked in, and you went down some bunny holes here, and you found someone that could get us an answer, and the answer was no.
Well, Danny Vaughn. It
was Danny.
Yeah, he volunteered to reach out to his people that he knew, and at that point we were. We're still a new podcast. We were brand new.
And then I definitely had to stress my anxiety spike when you brought that up.
But I totally understood that. Us being as new as we were, we didn't have the reach, and so they said no.
Yeah, so many interviews since then. So now, it's happening, and we have a T-shirt on the boat.
Yeah.
We didn't see that coming.
Yeah. Maybe Matt will find the person that said no and say, hey, check
Rough
out the
them
shirt.
up. Be like, hey, do you not have a generator in my truck? Inside joke. Yeah, so of course, we
would love to do this at some point.
And I was against it when you first brought it up because I felt like we weren't ready.
And we weren't.
We weren't.
Sometimes I get a little overzealous.
No.
That's a pretty good word.
This is a perfect time for our new sound. So now you brought it up today, and I was like, you know what? Fair enough. We've done 2 remote recordings now.
Yeah, and there'll be more before that
happens. So if it happens, it happens.
Yeah, we're going to work towards it.
Yeah, that would be wild to be on that ship. But no guarantees here. We're not making any
no. The only prediction we can make right now is we're going to do our best to make it happen, but we don't know if that's going to happen yet or not.
And putting it in the universe helps.
Yep, it does.
So looking forward to hearing more stories. Again, as we're recording this, it hasn't happened yet. So I can say in real time, looking forward to seeing some pictures.
Yeah.
And hopefully by the time we're watching this, some badass pictures were out there from like our friends Tora Tora.
Yeah.
And Danny Bond.
Taiketo.
And Matt. We're already getting some cool pictures, but I want to see stage pictures.
I saw a picture of Matt that he posted with, I think it was Frank Hannon from Tesla. He uses Matt's pedal. Matt builds pedals, and his pedals are used everywhere.
And they're beautiful.
I'm not a guitar player, so I got no clue how they work or what they do. But
same here.
There's a lot of really badass guitar players using them, so they got to be good.
Yeah, I mean, they're just pretty too. They're very
pretty.
nice. So, well, great. Let's go to the star of the show, shall we?
Paul Stanley, everyone.
That's right. And no, it's Shawn Few, and definitely has become a big friend of ours in the show. You had already known him.
Yep.
By the time this show started, you even, played with the Dan Tones for a minute.
Yep.
But I knew of Shawn only online,
right.
And since this show has broken out and we've started to go to shows and patronize these bands and everything, we've become friends with Shawn. And
right.
Shawn's great. He hired you to fill in for Jacob Turner. He invited me up to sit in.
Yeah.
We enjoy formerly known as and 6 Feet Thunder tremendously.
Right.
And we were very glad to have Shawn on the show. And let's talk about what we talked about. So,
okay.
Of course, we talked about Kiss, right?
Yeah. One of Shawn's least favorite bands.
I know. I mean, he just talks about how crappy they are and overrated. And, then what's great is we talk about this song. Yes. I hope this is blasting in Sidecar right now. Ladies and gentlemen, the author of this song, our theme song, Mr. Shawn Few, everybody.
Yeah.
That's right, and we get into it, and not only do we talk about it, but we play the original version that has him singing on it. Yeah. And the backstory of why it was created, and then how awesome it is that it was given to us. So we talk about that. That's going to be fun. Tell us about the Black 59s, Jeff.
Well, it's been 30 plus years since I saw them, since anyone saw them. But that was an original band that Shawn was in, as we say, back in the day, when Memphis was so full of rich, amazing
early 90s
original rock music. Yeah, late 80s, early 90s. They did the typical Rascals gigs, some of those places everyone knows in town. And it was just a great original band. One of the things that, I don't know if we talked about this, but one of the things that sticks out to me was Shawn's attire when he played in the Black 59s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he wore Doc Martens and
I think we did.
And long jean shorts. I think we touched on it a little bit. But
long jean shorts?
Yeah, long
I cannot
shorts.
Picture that.
It was different. It was different. And no, it was not skinny jeans.
He didn't do the skinny jeans back then?
Not back then. So, yeah, but that was good stuff. And we talked about formerly known as and 6 Feet Thunder, the other two bands that he's in now, the Dantones. So, yeah, it was we had such a good time interviewing him. It was a lot of fun. Also,
he's been a worship leader for years.
Yep.
And we definitely go into that because I think that's special. So, well, let's get right to it, man.
Let's do it.
Let's have fun. Hopefully everyone's having a good time tonight at Sidecar as we're watching this. Thank you again to Sidecar Memphis for having us.
Yep.
Jeff, thank you for setting this up. I was teasing you earlier, but this is going to be cool.
And thanks to everyone who's here. And look, if you didn't make it to this one, you're going to have chances to come because we're going to try to do this once a month.
Every second Monday.
Yep.
Right?
Every second Monday.
And I'm here to tell you right now, no guarantees, but if you guys show up and show out, consistently and we grow this crowd, then maybe, just maybe, we can go mobile.
Yep.
And
do some interviews.
Film an episode where you're standing right now. I don't know. We haven't even asked the bar yet.
No.
If that's even a possibility. But point being is if you guys show up to these things and this, meet and greet / watch parties and everything, we build an actual audience, then we can be like, in essence, like a band on a weeknight and do a live recording somewhere.
Sky's the limit.
Yes, sir. So, all right, everyone. Well, look, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for engaging. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get to our good friend, Shawn Few. All right, Jeff. The day has finally come.
Yeah, it's been a long wait.
We've been waiting and waiting and waiting and just hoping that he'd give time for us. But he's so busy.
He's a very busy individual.
Quite literally very busy. Ladies and gentlemen, Shawn Few, everybody.
Welcome to the show. Yay.
It's exciting to be here.
Yeah.
Honestly, when I pulled up and I saw this, this really nice building, and I was thinking, I was envisioning somebody's house and they got a little home studio or they got the little shed out back. But man, this is uptown. Uptown fun.
Man, this is a real lease.
It's a real deal.
Yeah.
Dude,
very nice.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is fun. I enjoy this place.
To be
I love
here.
living in Hernando too, so it's just perfect for
Beautiful area. And
you're in Olive Branch.
Olive Branch, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Jeff mentioned that.
Did you guys get the storms here?
Oh, from Friday night?
Yeah.
Well, when driving in full context as we record this, we're going to talk about last night, 6 Feet Thunder.
I got to remember that.
Friday night was Area 51, both at Neil's. So driving to Neil's Friday, I drove through a wall of lightning on 240. It was crazy.
Susan and I were at a little place in Olive Branch, the Mississippi Ale House, watching John Roth and Corey Myers.
Awesome.
Caught them for an hour before we came to see you guys. Or Area 51. And it was the rain just insane. Wind and rain and lightning. So we had to sit there and wait it out before we headed to Neil's.
It was rough.
Yeah.
There's areas in North Mississippi that got hit hard with tornadoes.
Right.
I can't remember what area, but But down here was fine. Just rain. But, well, man, this is great. I'm glad that I've now got to know you and seen you play in a bunch of different, your two bands, formerly known as 6 Feet Thunder, which we're going to get into detail. I'm going to ask him which one is his favorite too later. Yeah. But
on the air, we got to know.
Thump Daddy.
So welcome to the show.
Very excited to be here.
And we want to talk about, where you're from and everything. And then, your bands.
And your very, very long musical history.
And we're going to dig into, the real full versions of the theme song that you gifted us, which is so fun. We really love that song.
I'm just excited that it's got a life again. Boom!
That's Shawn Few on bass and guitar, everybody.
Yeah.
Hell of a guitar player, man.
I'm not too shabby on guitar.
Yeah, good riff, too.
It was fun. Yeah, I can't wait to tell you the story of the whole thing.
Yeah.
So.
All right, enough of that shit. No, just kidding.
It just makes you want to rock.
But no, it was really cool when you reached out with us. I was like, hell yeah. It's homegrown, it
just made perfect sense.
Yeah.
And like I said, it rocks. It, can't go wrong.
No,
so I was like, please, I hope they'll do it. And Jeff was like, It's a yes for me, but I got to check with Derek first.
I think I listened to like 8 seconds, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm good."
Right. And I fully intend on giving you residuals. So that quarterly check, a few pennies here.
Right
and there.
on.
So where are you from originally, man?
Originally from Chicago, Illinois, or
I did not know
Illinois,
that.
as they say here. Moved here in '77. My dad's company transferred or whatever. I don't know. I was 7. I don't care.
Right.
Moved here in '77, and
there you go. And 7 years old, Memphis. 7 years old. So, I mean, you came in for those formative years in the music scene.
Yeah. Well, here's the crazy thing. Originally, we were going to buy a house directly behind Graceland. The company he was working for, everybody said, Whitehaven was where you wanted to live. And so I was all excited because we're literally going to be in Elvis's backyard.
Right.
And then something happened and somebody goes, "No, man, you don't want to go to Whitehaven. Germantown is the up and coming place." And so we ended up getting a house in Germantown.
It's good foresight.
And, not just a couple of months after we moved here, Elvis died.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's crazy. But
that's right. He died in 78 or late 77?
77, yeah.
Yeah.
April, isn't it? August?
I'm not sure.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I know it was the same year
I know
we
that's
moved here.
the same year Star Wars came out.
Yep.
Josh Haynes.
I wasn't born yet.
Yeah.
You old fuckers.
Yeah, I got some gray in here.
Yeah.
Well, if he died in April of 77, I was January 78, so not too far. I'm the reincarnation.
Just a baby.
That's right. So when did you start playing? Like, how quickly was Memphis a big influence on you?
Well, that didn't come until much later. I've been singing since I could talk, As soon as I started talking, I started singing. But my family was kind of like the Von Trapps. We had a singing family. We sang at church, and so it was
which makes sense because you absolutely were blessed with a hell of a voice, sir.
And 2 brothers, and my mom and dad, and very musical family. My mom was a piano teacher. Dad played trombone. Brothers played horns. I guess my sister played piano, but anyway. But yeah, so I grew up in a musical family. And I'd come home from school every day, and Mom was a piano teacher, and I'd have to come home and listen to the and
with sour notes throughout all of it.
every daggum day, and so that told me right there that I do not want to play piano. I just had enough of it. I wish I could really play now. I can play by ear, but. And then I picked up a guitar. But actually, before that, I was singing barbershop with my dad. And there was there's a chorus here in Memphis. There's chapters all over the United States. And at the time, I was the youngest due-paying member in the country for the call it SPEP Squad. It's the Society for the Preservation and Encouragement of Barbershop Quartet Singing in America, Incorporated.
All righty.
Put that on the logo.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. So I sang in a chorus of about 40 or so guys, and then we had separate little quartets that I sang with my dad and my brother and another guy. And we were called the Stair Steps because everybody was a little bit taller and I was a little squirt that sang tenor.
So how old were you for this?
I guess I started that about 8 years old. And
I just can't help but find the irony in that haircut and he's in a barbershop.
Well,
yeah.
But yeah.
I don't have it. No. Oh yeah, I do.
So I did that until I guess.
There it is. I got to bring the sounds up for Shawn.
Yeah, I did that probably till I was 15, and that's when I really discovered guitar. I'd been playing guitar, my brother's guitar, but that's when I decided I wanted to get chicks. And sorry, honey.
Hey, I was one of them.
So
Yes,
14 years
right.
old, we're talking 84.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're in the heart of the party.
I failed a year somewhere around there, but so I was 16 my freshman year, and that's when I started. Well, I didn't start the band, but I played guitar in a punk rock, hardcore punk rock band called Sobering Consequences. And there's, you could probably find that there's some stuff online, but yeah, so I mean, it was rocking, and I love punk rock music. I still listen to it, but I have this sense of melody, and the punk rock stuff is all just
Right.
And so I wanted
Probably
something.
why I never listened to it.
I gravitated towards bands that had some melody, like 7 Seconds and Minor Threat, and but I really wanted to be able to sing. And a couple guys from high school, they knew me from grade school because my barbershop thing sang at my grade school, and they said, "Well, Shawn can sing. Let's see if he can do it." And at that point, I had no idea that I could really be a rock singer or whatever. But so we started our first band, which was The Connection. And
what was the music?
It might as well have been a U2 cover band. We played so many U2 songs.
Oh, so
U2 was a huge influence on me early on.
So you didn't jump into like what we'd call the hair metal stuff.
No.
It was that alternative 80s stuff, like Simple Minds and all that stuff.
Simple Minds and The Cure and The Cult.
All good stuff. I love all of that.
That's-
INXS. We were just talking about this with our guest that we talked to earlier.
A lot of INXS. But like I said, we probably played 15 U2 songs. She was there for all of it. So, but that's how I met her, was through one of my bandmates, and she had just moved to Memphis from California, and she comes walking by, and she had an ass that.
Oh, you can say that.
That was the first thing I saw. She had this spiky kind of punk rock hair, and she comes walking by, and my bass player, he goes, "Hey, Carrie, hey." I guess they had homeroom together. Is that right? And so he introduced us. And
what year was this?
This is
84, 85.
85.
You guys have been together quite some time. No.
Well, we had some...
So do tell us your entire relationship.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. Well, here's the nutshell. I fell in love with her the second I laid on. I mean, from that day, I remember exactly where I was at in the school there, and yes, I was in love. I knew it. I knew she was the one, and I got stuck in the friend zone for way too long, and then I finally wore her down, and we started dating very briefly. And then she crushed my heart.
Oh, no.
She crushed my heart. And I didn't date again for 2 or 3 years after that. 3-4 years. Yeah.
You damaged him.
And I wrote a song about her. There was a great line in the song. It was called "Off My Mind." And the line in the song was, you said you'd love me forever. That was just another lie. Try not to call my name out when you sleep, because in your dreams is where I hide. So, but we got married somewhere after the more, the happy ending.
Sounded more.
Well, she's with us. She's off
Nightmare
camera
on Elm
She's right
Street.
there. Yeah, there we go. Let's say hello. Yes, middle camera, Alex.
She's so hot.
Yes.
Look how good you look.
I can't see that far.
I love you.
Well, there's definitely
I appreciate that, Shawn.
the contrast helps too.
But
Well,
enough
that's awesome.
about her. I mean, for crying
That's
out
all you
loud.
get. That's all you get. No, just
For
kidding.
me.
I made her wear a really nice shirt, though. You could make it colder in here.
A sweet pear.
it says sweet pain, but sweet
Love a
pear
different
works
day.
too.
Love a different way.
Sweet pear works better.
What does it say?
Pain.
Sweet pain.
Oh, I thought it said sweet pear. I thought it was like a joke shirt.
We're going to have another moment where I melt down on camera. Oh, my God.
I got to do it.
That was great.
So that's hilarious. Both work.
Sweet pear.
Hey,
Sweet pear.
that's the next shirt. We're going to have my friend Pat makes all these shirts. And
That's great.
Is it Patrick? Is it the same
no,
guy?
it's a buddy, a Kiss buddy of mine. He lives in New Jersey, but he does, because I've got a different Kiss shirt on every single time I play.
Well, you brought
we'll
it
be
up.
talking about. Let's bridge the
might as
Kiss.
well. When did your love affair with that band start?
1973 at the Woodfield Mall in Chicago, Illinois.
Okay.
And I remember this clear as, can be. And I was standing, my mom used to take me to the mall. We didn't have a lot of money, but she would take me to the mall. There was a little aquarium there, and we used to go every other Saturday, whatever. And we were standing at Hot Sam's, because Hot Sam's sold like soft pretzels or whatever. Yeah. And there was a poster on the wall, and it was this band called Kiss. And I was immediately drawn to it. Up until that time, my favorite song was my sister's 45 of The Sweet. Little Willie, Willie won't go home. But so it was just kind of poppy stuff. But I saw that, and I was just like, I don't know what this is, but I like it. And I remember asking my mom, can I take this poster? And she said, no, you cannot. That is, no.
That's the devil on there.
But the poster was an advertisement they were having a promotional thing. It was a kissing contest. And later I found out that this was part of their first promotional, to push the album. And so they had a kissing contest, and there was, 50 couples out there all making out. And, as a kid, you're going, what is going on? But I love this. And it's awesome. And that's where it started. So I didn't even hear the music probably till a couple of years later.
It seems like that's the common story for the big Kiss fans. It's the visual.
It's the visual.
What is that?
I was, again, they started in 73, I was 73. And you're a kid, and you're immediately drawn to just the characters of it. It was like a living, breathing comic book.
Superheroes.
Superheroes. And they literally became that to me. I mean, they still are.
And millions of others, man.
Yes.
For sure.
And what's so awesome about Kiss is you talk about the visual being the first thing, but they carried that into shows. And my first Kiss concert was Hot in the Shade.
Right.
What a visual. Oh my God, it was unbelievable.
Do you know the name of the Sphinx?
I don't.
Leon.
Makes sense.
It's true.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But my love affair of Kiss has been, ever since then. And my collection keeps growing and growing and growing.
Should we talk about that?
Yeah, man, absolutely. So last night, I should say, of course, it'll be over with by the time this airs, but I donated this Love Gun album here that's signed by all four original guys. And I donated it to the Cricket Warren benefit. Yeah. I've got a bunch of autographed stuff. Right. And, it hurt a little bit, but I wanted to do something. And, Carrie said, are you sure you want to do that? Do you even know Cricket? And I go, well, I don't really know Cricket. I've met him a handful of times, but I know Tracy and Chris and Wayne.
And the Fast Mothers are legendary around here.
We love the Fast Mothers. And, Tracy and I go back to the Thrust days because we shared a rehearsal studio. Yeah. And so I was always practicing next to Thrust.
Right.
And I don't know, where was I going? Oh, yeah. So I donated that thing last night at the gig. And, we get done playing a song. I talked about the benefit that's coming up. And, we play another song. And someone comes up to me. I can't remember who it was.
It was Bubba Atkinson, right? Bubba.
Well, it was Bubba that here's the story is Bubba bought it back. And he paid, I don't even know if I should say what he paid.
I don't care, but I don't.
I'm just going to say it. Bubba paid $1,000 to buy it back for me. Mm-hmm. And it was, shit. I'm going to start tearing up.
I get it.
Yeah, that was a big deal, man. It was emotional to watch it.
Yeah, it was, really, and cool. I fell apart for anybody that wasn't there last night. I fell apart on stage, and I've got an amazing circle of friends, and but that was, you're just trying to do something right for somebody else that's going through. I lost my mother to pancreatic cancer, and so I know what Cricket's going through, and.
I get it.
All good,
look, while Shawn composes himself, I'll reach out and say, "Bubba, you're a badass." That is.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't know you. I haven't met you, but that's cool as
hell. That guy's got a heart of gold.
And I don't. I'm just like you. I've met Cricket maybe twice, just briefly. Hey, man. I don't know him personally. But the great thing about this community is you don't have to know people personally because it's a family and people come together time and time again to.
Now I'm all sniffly, snuffly. All right.
Well, yeah. Quickly, we realized
somebody say something funny.
Right.
Nice. I mean, yeah, it was very early on in this podcast that we realized, man, this community does back each other up.
Yes.
It really does in so many different ways.
It's crazy because we're all so competitive, especially, 20 years ago when we were all on the kind of original music scene. And that's all that Memphis was at the time. You couldn't play in a bar if you weren't playing original music.
God, times have changed.
They have.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I'm going to be getting back into original. I really hoped that I would have something ready for you guys today.
Me too, slacker.
But I am a busy guy, and just didn't work out. But there is original music coming, and my goal is to the Lafayette's Music Awards are next Sunday. My goal. They don't even know this yet. I'm going to surprise them with it. My goal is to do a show at Lafayette's. 5 bands. My originals, Fast Mothers, Fever Tree. There's a handful of people that are really great. And do a Sunday night.
Yeah.
And just do 30-minute sets. Just really quick. Boom, 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 boom,
showcasing.
Boom. Very palatable. Just knock it out. That way, next year when we do the Tommy Awards, you can actually have an original music category, right? Because it's hard to get into Lafayette's. Yeah. I mean,
for cover bands, never mind original bands.
Well, just period. Even cover bands. I mean, it's hard to get in there, and they really pick the top bands to play there.
And part of the deal is for the Tommy Awards, you have to have had worked at Lafayette's.
Right. It is a Lafayette's award show, and it's named after Tommy, the former owner, who passed away. But yeah, so that's my goal. I really want to have an original music category, so that and if that's what it takes to get some of these bands into Lafayette's, then I'm going to do everything I can to make that happen.
And to hear those bands in that system, because it's a pretty good system in Lafayette.
Keith Lyle and Thomas Halfacre, who run sound and lights up there, are just as good as it gets. I mean, they are the top dogs in town. So,
sure. It goes without saying that when you have original music ready, get with us.
We'll debut it right here.
We love it.
Well, let me use this time to now talk about the theme song.
Yes.
Because tell us about the origin of the song and how there's different versions before you gave us the instrumental.
So Mark Holt, who is the singer of 6 Feet Thunder, he was living in California. His daughter was starring on a Disney show at the time, and so Mark's just always got his hands going in all kinds of different cool projects and meeting people. And he met this couple that they were shooting a pilot for a show called The World's Worst Tenant. Yeah. And he was an eviction specialist, and they'd go to a house that was a suspected drug dealer, or they were running a brothel out of it, or a private property place that had backyard boxing matches or whatever, cockfights.
Whoa!
I just wanted to say that, cockfights.
Watch your language.
And so he wanted a theme song that was kind of like Dog the Bounty Hunter, something rocking. And so Mark calls me up and he's like, dude, and we had already written a theme song for Olivia's show. They didn't use it, but so he calls me up and says, can you write something? And I said, yeah, all right, yeah, let me get to work. And so I put together this little demo. I just played it with my drum machine and whatever I had at home, and sent it out to them. And they were like, this is great. This is exactly what we're talking about. Now we need a full production of it. So that's when I called, Jimmy and Jed McGowan, who is the singer from 9 Days Wonder, great band from eons ago. Yep. And so we rewrote the lyrics, and it was going to be the theme song. They had already finished the first season, so this was going to be the theme song. for the second season. And I was just like, finally, I got something that's happening. And then the show got canned for the second season.
Of course it did.
Which is the story of my life.
Yeah.
But we got a really cool song out of it. Jimmy Fulp played drums on it. I played bass and guitars and sang. And Jed McGowan, I think, did some background vocals. Engineered by Jason Latshaw.
Okay.
Almost forgot it. I think it was recorded at American Studios. And it came out great. I was very happy with it.
So let's play one. I have Payday demo and Payday full version F1. Which would you?
I mean, if you're gonna play one or the other, it's got to be the full version.
Full version.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna play it. We're gonna release this song, and
I had to really sing differently on this one because they wanted a really gruff, so I had to. This is not really kind of my normal singing, so it's
All right.
Well, let's check it out.
Play it.
What's going down on your property? Closed doors won't stop me. I'd rather do this the easy way. My way won't be criminal. I get what I want, and there ain't nothing gonna stand in my way. You can say all you want, all the world's worst tenant, and it's payday. And it's payday.
Yes.
woo.
That was cool.
Oh yeah.
To the people that only listen, you got to come watch that on YouTube because I'm keeping that. Sean
No, for sure.
Sean lip sync to that into his camera, and that's what you're gonna see. And that's
We
awesome.
may have to use him lip syncing it as an intro on the show every week.
Yeah, that's right. I'm absolutely clipping that out.
Well, we can. Hey, man, we can always rewrite the lyrics to the podcast. I can come up with something.
That works too.
We're looking for a payday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. Any sponsors out there? Memphis Drum Shop. Memphis Drum Shop.
Amazing.
Yeah, they're amazing. Yeah, I'll give you a commercial for money. Well, let's talk about your bands.
Oh,
Well, I mean,
I'm taking over.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah, we're gonna start way back.
You're going to start at Black 59,
You know where the
aren't
hell
you?
I'm going. You know where I'm going. So yeah, tell us about it. Who was in that
Black
band?
59 was myself, Jeff Miller, who is the now guitar player for Medieval Steel.
Okay.
Trip Gintz played bass, and Trip was playing with the Zeppelin thing that was, I forget the name of that band now, but Chris Procangelo.
Yeah. I can't think of the name of it either. Sorry.
Hey.
Sorry, guys.
Come on, man. We get names right.
I know.
No,
I
we
know.
don't. We screw
Well,
up
I'm
all the
old
time.
and I did a lot of things in my youth that I probably,
I'm right there with you.
I burned some cells. But anyway, yeah. Jeff Miller, Kim Trammell.
Yep.
Kim Trammell.
Kimmy T.
Kimmy T, and she is such a badass. She is just amazing. But I originally wrote 3-song demo for a thing here in Memphis. Again, going back to the original music thing, we had a thing called Crossroads Music Festival, and it was kind of like South by Southwest. It was all Memphis and surrounding area bands, all showcasing for record labels that came in town. And I didn't have a band, I didn't have anything, but I sent in this 3-song demo that I did with the help of Scotty T from Roxy Blue, and they accepted it. I was really shocked because it was all done on a 4-track, and it was not that great, but the songs were there, and then I was like, shit, I got to put a band together. So Jeff Miller had been playing in a band room next to ours, along with Thrust and handful of other bands, and he was an awesome guitar player, and he knew Trip, so that's how we got that. And Kimmy and I had played together previously in another band, but Kim, well, that whole band was just it was awesome.
It was.
And I wish I could sing like I used to sing.
You're doing fine.
Thank you.
Damn, man. I mean, do you feel like you've...
I wish that you'd make the same.
I definitely have.
I want to see the fashion statement that you made in the Black 59s is what I want to see.
Oh, you mean the shorts?
Oh, yeah, the shorts and the Doc
Well, see, here's the
Martens.
thing. I was always too fat to be a hairband guy.
Yeah. Welcome to my world.
You know, hey, I know what I got, and I worked my my attributes. Is that the word I'm looking for?
We'll
I had great legs, so we wore shorts, and I think I had bike shorts underneath them or whatever. So they were, but that was our look. We wore shorts on stage, and
Is that what made you not want to date him?
Pretty much. It was the Birkenstocks, actually.
The Birkenstocks. Oh, I used to wear Birkenstocks.
I did have some
with socks.
Birkenstocks.
Ooh, that's savage.
I never wore Birkenstock. What? She is lying like a.
One of the commonly overlooked wonderful things about the Memphis music scene back then was the fashion statements.
Mm-hmm.
My buddies in Disturbance, they wore the body glove shorts.
That's right.
And they rocked it.
The body glove shorts?
Yeah, like the surfing.
Here.
Like
The,
spandex?
yes, the skin tight body gloves.
Yeah, I
shorts.
was not doing that.
Yeah, we were
Not. And now I can look back on it and go, man, I am
Showing off that nice pair,
I am so right. Sweet pair.
A sweet pair. I even got that wrong. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but I'm so thankful that there are no pictures of me
Oh, my
in
God.
spandex.
Dude, the way the circle of you and the other guys will get to,
yeah.
you would never live that down.
No.
Oh, I
Holy
know.
Shit,
I know. But, I wear women's jeans now, so that's,
That's funny. And underwear, I heard.
Yeah, Six Feet Thunder has got some serious ribbing going on in that band.
Yeah.
we love each other. We have fun at each other's expense,
Yeah.
and we just have. I mean, when that band plays, we're having as much fun up on stage as I hope the audience is having.
Oh, yeah. So
it's just a
Mark Holt, Josh Haynes.
Josh
Shawn Few.
Haynes, Scott Sudbury,
Yeah.
and Mark Holt. Did I say that?
Yeah, and Jimmy Fulp.
And Jimmy Fulp. Yeah.
And then Seth Kirk.
Here,
Kirkendall.
Sorry,
What
Seth.
am I to do with you?
it's actually not that.
Well, Seth said it was.
Well, don't listen to him. It's really Kuykendall.
That's what. See, that's
Kirkendall.
that was me.
Seth Kuykendall.
Kuykendall.
Yeah. No, it's Kirkendall. Also the bass player from Poison, Bobby Dahl.
Yeah.
He's actually a Kirkendall.
Oh, there you
But
go.
when you read that name, the K-U-Y, just
There's no R in there.
you're right.
Kirkendall. So you, Mark, and Jimmy go way back. Is that how the
Yes.
the nucleus of this?
Yep,
right?
yep. Yeah. Well, I mean, we've all been playing together literally since 1987, 88. Coming up in the Stage Stop, and we were all in rival bands or whatever at the time. And again, we were all very competitive, but we were all very tight as well. And that friendship has lasted throughout the years. And again, that extends out to so many other musicians like Tracy and Chris and Wayne Walker and
Tennis extraordinaire.
right.
So I think I heard the story about 6 Feet Thunder was sort of a COVID.
It was.
deal.
It originally, everything was shut down and nobody could go out to bars. And I called up Josh and I said, because I've always wanted to play with Josh. He's just a freak of a guitar player.
Yeah, he is.
And I called up Jacob Turner and I said, let's do this thing. Brandon Marlier.
Yeah.
No.
He's got a great setup at his church, with the everything. And I was like, let's go live. Let's do a live broadcast so that people at home can watch something and just have fun with it. So we did it as a 3-piece and it went great. And I was like, I think I want to put this band together because I had just put together formerly known as, and I think Jacob was probably hurt that I didn't use him for that project. But actually, this was all at the same time. Because then I did get Jacob for formerly known as, but I just knew, with that kind of stuff that we were playing, and it was all kind of classic rock.
Right.
I wanted my bros
Sure.
to be there, and and Jacob is my bro now too. But
Sure.
We'll get to formerly known as well.
But
for sure.
but I really wanted it to be that core group of guys that were playing these songs 30 years ago, and man, I mean, when all 5 of us get together, it's magic, and like I said, I'm having a blast. And
not many bands have a 5-piece band where all 5 members are quality lead singers.
Right.
Yeah. Then you add all the harmony,
and we use that to our benefit because the harmonies are.
You have to,
and we don't rehearse, so everything is just kind of
get it.
Yeah, you get what you get, and I think we played "Bringing on the Heartbreak" last night, which we never played, and it was
yes, you did. Yeah.
It was a little rough, but
man, you guys whipped out that Eagles.
Yeah, man.
7 Bridges Road.
Again, that was another one of those kind of things.
That was off the cuff, right?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It was awesome. It sounded really good.
They sent a message out and said, "Hey, do you think we can do this?" And we're like, "Yeah, all right." So, but we never knew who was going to sing what part. Josh and I kind of know that we're going to take the really high stuff, and so you hit that first note, and everybody just kind of goes
falls in
and finds their spot.
Yeah. You guys need to learn some barbershop stuff.
Hey, man.
I mean, seriously, I would love that.
We actually talked about doing something like that at the Christmas, Merry Christmas thing last year. Paul Moreau, guitar player for Rock the Boat and Thump Daddy, he really wanted to do a Kiss song barbershop style because he knew that I sang in barbershop. And it did never happen, but it still might someday.
I still want to do the 80s Kiss stuff.
Who's going to sing it though?
You?
Good. No, I can't.
Yeah, you can.
I can't even get close to that. Paul Stanley was on the next level at that point.
I want to cover
gosh.
Rise.
You get up there, man. So what was he doing?
Dude, he was wearing
up there.
much tighter pants than I am. So
reason
nut huggers, man.
Reason to
live.
It, man. Yeah, I want to do all that stuff. Heaven's on Fire. Lick It Up.
See, I didn't appreciate that stuff at the time.
Tears
now I do. I love it.
I love it.
Were you more like the old school?
I was like, man,
the purist. Yeah.
And Sean's heard me say in my world, Kiss didn't even exist.
Yeah.
Until Eric Carr and Bruce Kulick.
And that's so crazy. I mean, and that's the great thing about Kiss is they've been around for so long that they have these different factions that But I was Ace Frehley was my idol on guitar growing up, and Gene Simmons is just he doesn't get credit as a bass player, but he's one of my favorite bass players. And
I mean, Van Halen is like that for me. Right, just my age. The Columbia House cassette deal where you get 12 cassettes for a penny, So I started dabbling and digging into everything, and Van Halen 5150 with Sammy Hagar was my first introduction. Yeah. And I listened to the shit out of that thing, and I couldn't be a purist because I didn't know David Lee Roth.
Your Paul Stanley impersonation is spot on.
Oh, yeah. I want to say, how you people doing out there this afternoon? Actually, it's evening because it comes out, the video comes out in the evening. Oh, yeah. I was talking to somebody backstage before.
Yeah.
All right.
See, you can sing it.
Yeah, come on.
Let's do it.
So we went out of order, but now let's go to Dan Tones leading into formerly known as
Dan Tones. We used to play as a kind of like a trio. It was myself and Jeff Houghton and Brad D'Antone.
And that was all because of the same church band, the worship band.
Yep. And so we were just doing, acoustic gigs or whatever. And I put together this thing for church. And ironically, neither one of those two were in it. But I had got Jimmy to play drums. And I said, I really want to use some tracks. I want to be able to have strings and everything that you're hearing in the song. And this is where the tracks came from, is, just being able to do songs that in a bar that you couldn't possibly do without an orchestra with you. And one of those things was Live and Let Die. I was like, I always want to play Live and Let Die. And I like the Guns N' Roses version, but let's face it, when that song kicks in, live and let die, and you got the bassoons and everything, and I was just like, I want to do that, and there's no way I'm going to do it with an orchestra. So I started learning how to do tracks, and after we did this thing at our church, my daughter was a competitive cheerleader, and it was really expensive. I mean, we're talking 15, 20 grand a year. Is that right?
Damn.
If not more. And I needed cash. So I said to the guys in the Dantones trio, I was like, let's take this thing and start playing some gigs. And man, that thing just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so that band consisted of myself, Jeff Houghton on lead guitar, Brad D'Antone on rhythm guitar, and Jimmy Fulp originally on drums. And things were going great. And then suddenly Jimmy gets cancer. Yeah. And his whole kind of worldview just changed. And he's like, guys, because we were playing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday every week. And he was just like, I can't do this. So we, do we get into it?
Yeah, no, I came in. I did some shows with him.
Scott. Jeff.
I was thrown into that fire, and it was good for me. I learned a lot.
Well, it's
I'd never played the tracks before that, and it was an experience.
You've got to be a hell of a drummer to play with tracks, and I know how people feel about tracks, but let's face it. Modern musicians, if you're on stage somewhere at the Coliseum, gosh, I'm dating myself now. Yeah. Coliseum's been closed for 30 years, y'all. Every touring musician is playing to tracks now, or if not tracks, playing to a click, because everything's synchronized from the lighting and the pyro and everything. But you've got to be a really solid drummer to have to sit, it takes away a little bit of the feel, but that's the trick to it. If you can pull it off and not sound robotic, and you got
a wiggle room where you can push and pull as long as you stay on it, for sure.
And again, you can say what you want about tracks. We don't hide it. Obviously, you hear horns and keyboards, and they're not on stage. Not trying to hide anything. I mean, I've played with keyboards before, and let's just face it, keyboard players are weird.
Musicians are freaking weird.
David Haynes is my new friend here.
I was going to say, there is one keyboard player that I really like, and that's David from Area 51. He's a great dude, and if he wasn't playing with Josh, I would probably snatch him up, and he's a great dude.
What you need to do is take 6 feet, the way, the original, bring in Seth and bring in David, and you would have, you'd have the Foo Fighters.
Well, there you go, Kerry. There's band number 5.
But look, I had a good 4.5 year run in the casinos, and dude, 70% of our stuff was tracked, because we had to. It was a 3-piece band with a lead female front. Yeah. And we had to play all this dance stuff. So, I mean, a 3-piece version of Brick House is going to suck. Right. I mean, so when we played it, and we played Earth, Wind, and Fire, no shame. Obviously you don't see a horn section, keys, and all these backup singers with us.
You're absolutely right, though. I mean, playing something like September or Brick House, it's, we can play without it. And we've done it a handful of times. So, hey, we can play without tracks. If you think that this band is cheating or whatever. Right. These are real deal top-notch musicians, and it just makes the end product that much better. And I've found that the audience does not care at all. Right. They could care less. It's the musicians and the audience that turn their nose up to it. I don't care.
I don't want to sound insulting. I dare say some don't even get it.
Right. Well.
They just hear awesome music and they're on the dance floor.
Yep, but it has worked for 10 years, and we're no shortage of gigs. So
and so you had for a minute Jim Atkinson, right?
Yes, he played with us just briefly.
He meaning Jeff?
Yes, Jeff, I'm sorry, Ward. Jeff Ward, and Jeff. You guys don't talk about it enough, but Jeff is just an incredible drummer. And you've got, I mean, even without the click, you've got amazing meter. And one of the only drummers that I've ever played with that
I love this story.
that everybody wants to rule the world. And
Tears
it's got
for
a
Fears.
really unique drum beat to it. And Jeff is the only one, and that's not saying anything bad about the guys that I do play it with.
Sure.
But
Jimmy sucks.
But he,
Well,
yeah, Jimmy sucks.
you know, you said that to me not too long ago, and I went home and
Cried.
tried to play to that song, and I completely sucked. I've got to, you know, like that's a song you have to
Hey,
work
I can send you the click track
Yeah.
if you'd like. So,
yeah. So yeah, I played with you guys for a little while. Then Jim came in, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this kid comes along.
yeah. Well,
That
Jim became a politician, and
Yeah.
he's like this county.
He's an alderman
Yeah, I don't think he's an alderman. I
or a
think
county
he's
supervisor.
a commissioner or something like that. The commish.
Commish.
And so he just didn't have time to do that. And Jacob had been playing with us. He told you the story,
Yep.
and
Yeah,
that
like
is a true.
13
Yeah,
13 years old.
I think he was 14 when he first played with us.
But early before he became the drummer, he was sitting in, right? Like he was hanging
Oh
out.
yeah. That, and he told you the story. I mean,
Yeah.
it was 100% true. We played Detroit Rock City, and there's a break in the song. Get up, and he just butchered it. You know it, and I, 14-year-old kid. I mean, but I pulled him aside and I said, "Hey, man, you did great. That was awesome. But if you screw that up again, we're never playing again."
Your career is over.
And he was like,
okay, Mr. Few.
So
But-
you know, you met my son,
yeah.
and he asked me to get your set list because he is dying to come and
I'll
sit
send
in on
him
a
the
song or
tracks
two.
too. So
But I gave him the list, and I said, okay, pick 2 songs off that list, work your butt off on them, and be able to play them start to finish, no problem. I said, don't make any of them a Kiss song. Because if you go play Kiss
More scrutiny.
with Shawn
Hey,
Few
man,
and you screw something
it could have
up,
been any song. But Jacob was going through the School of Rock,
yeah,
and he's at that time was just learning how to be in bands
Sure.
and whatever. And I did it jokingly, but I also did it so that he knows, hey, when you get up on stage, people expect you to do this and that. And sure enough, next time he comes up to Huey's and the kid nails it. And
there's a way to encourage young musicians without crushing their
Right.
soul.
well,
you
it's
know,
kind of fun to smush them a little bit and
Pete-
go, hey, man,
Pete-
you're really
Pete-
good, but
Pete Mandillo was one of the best
It's
at that.
gonna sting a little.
Yeah.
You're gonna feel it.
Pete
Rest
was
in peace,
such
Pill.
he was
Pill.
such a fantastic encourager of me, and I could tell when I did something, and Pete was like, "Well, now that's probably not the exact right way to do it, but that was pretty good."
Right.
Just like me in rehearsal.
Yeah. Well, no, you're a little more harsh.
I sting.
Yeah, he does.
I think this thing's falling.
Oh, that's
Oh, no, Mike is falling.
Derek, buy some new equipment.
all right.
Oh,
I haven't spent enough
okay.
yet. I haven't
do
spent
that.
enough.
Do that again.
Do what again?
Ah.
Damn.
This went off the rails in a hurry.
Don't go to YouTube for that.
Yeah, I'm also a worship leader, so
Well, and I want to get to that, but
Yeah.
first,
Yep.
now the bridge from Dantone to formerly known as. How'd
yeah,
that happen?
the Dantones imploded. Actually, Jim was leaving. Jeff, again, another just phenomenal guitar player.
He is.
And on top of that, great vocalist. Also ran sound from the stage
Yep.
as he's playing because
Mhm.
he'd do solos and reach over and go,
Yep.
He was moving to Florida.
Yep.
He was tired of
Sure.
Memphis. And so Brad and I talked about, what are we going to do? And we started looking at guitar players. And without getting too into it, we just couldn't come to an agreement on guitar players. For all of Brad's idiosyncrasies or whatever, he was an amazing booker.
Yeah.
And, we played so much.
You guys were all over the place.
Oh my God.
You
I mean,
guys were even on TV. You guys
Yeah.
did like a morning show.
Dude,
Yeah.
he would book morning shows, and I'd have to, get up at 5 a.m. and go, try and sing on live TV. But I mean, he was amazing at that kind of stuff. And I've got nothing but great things to say about him from that perspective. And I learned a lot from him because I have never booked a band. I just, I don't want to deal with money and any of that stuff, but I learned a lot from playing with him. And so, yeah, we just couldn't see eye to eye. And so Brad said, well, let's just go our separate ways. And I said, are you sure you want to do that? And he was like, yeah, Shawn, we just don't see eye to eye. That's my Brad invitation. But, and so I immediately hung up the phone with Brad and I called Jacob. Jacob was the first guy I called.
Jacob Turner.
Yes, Jacob Turner. And,
I know Trip and Tamara will appreciate our shout outs to Jacob.
And we love Trip and Tamara.
Yes, we do.
Good folks.
And talk about just encouraging their son to do what he was born to do. I mean, the kid was born to be a rock and roll drummer on a stage.
Oh my God, yeah.
But, and as soon as I hung up the phone with Jacob, I called Julian Wong, who was just another freak of a guitar player.
Yep.
Who was auditioning for the Dantones. And a friend of mine from Martin Music said, man, there's this young guy. You got to get him.
I wanted to know this.
He's exactly who you're looking for.
Yeah.
And so I call up Seth and I was like, man, have you played with anybody? And he's like, no, never been in a band. And I went,
that's so crazy.
That's scary.
Anyone that's seen the band and seen them play, that's just shocking.
Right. Well, our first gig, it was kind of like, we call him Spruce Kulick, for the first Bruce Kulick gig with Kiss. And he just kind of stood there like a deer in headlights. But it's been really cool watching Seth because the talent is all there.
Oh, absolutely.
But watching him progress as a not just a player, but a performer, and getting the rock pose and, and now he really gets into his guitar solos and, he'll kick a leg up every now and then. And it's really awesome watching him because I know that Seth is going to be, after this is all said and done, he is going to be playing with some of the top bands here in town.
Well, I mean, he already is the fill-in for Scott Sudbury.
Right, yeah.
I mean,
and when Scott can't make it with 6 feet, Seth is the guy, and he can more than handle.
Yeah.
Well, let me throw some compliments your way because you're complimenting Seth and saying how he's really come out of his shell and he's doing all that. That comes from being with someone like you. Your personality on stage is so easygoing and it's so much fun that look, you and I are going to have a fight after this show. But for real. I mean, you guys know I'm telling the truth. You know I'm telling the truth. Stop fucking with me. But you do, man. Your personality shines through. It makes everybody relax. It's way different than playing with him.
Right. Well,
he's pointing to me, everybody.
Yes.
Yeah, I, the guys in the band will tell you. I mean, I'm fairly tough at times, but because I hear everything. It's those barbershop ears. I just hear harmonies and I know exactly when something is not quite right.
He does
or
too.
Whatever. Now I play all kinds of bad notes. I mean, we talked about that earlier today, but
that happens to everybody.
But yeah, I mean, I try to be easygoing. I try to go out into the crowd and speak to people.
Yep.
That's how my core group of friends, they all came from that because I met them from gigs. And,
yeah. Sometimes you speak as Shawn and sometimes you speak as Paul.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, like bass clams, God, I mean, I've never played a full show without at least 5, right?
Yeah.
But here's what's such a bummer with bass. Sometimes it'll be buried in the mix, right?
Yep.
Can't really hear it. It's a big boomy room until you hit a bad note.
Yep.
And that's
and
all
then it
you
sticks
hear.
out like a...
It's like, dang it, man. You can't hide. You can't hide behind a mistake.
Speaking of bass players, am I the first bass player on the rhythm section?
Well, we had Rocco Walls.
That one hasn't aired yet, has it? Oh, no, yeah, I did. That's where I learned about the candles. You're right.
Yes.
Yeah, rock and roll coverage, baby.
Yes.
But other
that
than
was
that,
a great episode, too.
That's it.
That's it, man.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, dude.
I was like, yeah, this is a rhythm section. You got drummers, and where's the bass player?
Yeah. I still say that Rock and Roll Cabbage is a great band name.
I love it.
But here's the deal. Jeff does the booking, so it's no surprise we've had a ton of drummers and no bass players. So, man, let's talk about your worship leading. You know, I'm interested in, all of that. Too.
Here's the thing. I have grown up in a church family, and my mom was the church organist at Germantown Baptist from pretty much the time we got to Memphis till the time she passed away. My dad was the deacon or a deacon. And so I grew up in the church, but in the 80s, I was a long-haired rock and roll musician, and a good Southern Baptist church just doesn't really appreciate your kind. True story. I mean, I was flamboyant, and I was kind of out there and in your face, and long hair and earrings, and I went on a church retreat or something like that, and one of the elders, says to me, "Shawn Few, you need to take that earring out of your ear." And I said, "No, I ain't gonna do that."
Which one?
And she was like, "You better listen to me." And I was like, "Why?" And she's like, "Because I am your senior, I am your elder, and I am telling you to take that thing out." And I said, "Well, I won't even take it out for my parents. What makes you think I'm going to take it out for you?" And I've always been kind of one of those guys that, hey, man, Jesus sees what's going on in your heart.
Absolutely.
And
I believe that.
It's all about the personal relationship.
So I left the church. I was out of the church for many years, and not because I wasn't a believer or anything like that. I just kind of lost faith in the establishment of the church.
And you're not alone there, man.
Yeah, and there's so many like that. But this church in Cordova, they needed a bass player. And somebody called me up and said, "Hey, man, you interested in doing this? It's, paid gig." And so when I started, it was a paid gig. I was just there to make some extra money.
Yep. The church gig is a real deal. There's some good money in that.
Yeah, absolutely. The top band, the top churches in town have got some of the top musicians.
Yeah.
And you almost have to do that. I mean, you can get up there and rinky dink it with some people from the church or whatever, but at some point you have to expand it and grow it, and you're going to want to get the best people you can. Well, anyway, long story short, our worship leader, he ended up leaving, and little did I know it at the time, he was kind of grooming me to be his replacement.
How long were you just the bass player?
Probably 7-8 years. I don't know.
Oh, wow. That's a run.
I don't know. I've been there almost 18 years now.
Wow.
16 years. I don't know. I'm a dumb bass player. What do I know? I've been there a long time. But, slowly but surely, outside of the music, I started listening to the message again. And the pastor at the time, Pastor Michael Pence, just an amazing guy. And he started, he knew I was a songwriter, and he started saying, "Hey, I'd really like to write a song for a particular sermon, and here's the verses that I'm speaking on, and can you write something?" So, next thing you know, I'm writing contemporary Christian music, and we wrote some really great songs. Matter of fact, Casting Crowns, which is
I love them.
They reached out. I don't know how they got it, but they got one of our songs.
Wow.
And they reached out to me, and we were supposed to have a meeting in Nashville, and something happened, and it got canceled. And then again, my life story. Just
I love
nothing.
that, man.
Nothing ever manifested out of that. But to get that call, and because at the time, Casting Crowns was like,
oh, they were huge.
They were huge.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, oh my gosh, if that could happen. But anyway, so I became the worship leader. And again, I am so not cut out to be a worship leader, because I am a terribly flawed man.
We all are.
And, I play in a rock and roll band. And I even said to them, I was like, "Are you sure you You really want me to
Man,
do
I've already
this?
dropped the F-bomb on this
I know.
episode.
Well,
and here we are.
You know, I'm surprised I haven't either. But you know, there's stories all throughout the Bible of the Lord using people that are just terribly flawed. Saul, you know, it eventually became Paul, and had that conversion. And I'm still working on myself, but I kind of take it as this is what he called me to do, and I still to this day don't feel comfortable doing it. But I have a gift of music, and the church seems to enjoy it. And you know,
How long you been the leader?
probably the last 5 years. 5-6 years, I don't know, something like that. I always have to look at my wife.
Yeah, she's here for moral support.
I have to pull
Coming
you
into
over
the
here.
camera again.
Yeah, you just stay right there because
I mean, if there's not a better example to go on YouTube right now,
I want my episode to be the most watched episode. And
all right. Nice.
She's just kidding, church people.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, we go from talking about worship leading to boobies.
Well, we are going to have shirts made up now that say "Sweet Pear."
Right.
We got to.
Do it just like that. But yeah, so and she, ironically, she, you know, once Pastor Michael Pence left, she kind of quit going, and so I've been there forever without her, and I just recently got her back to coming to church, which is really awesome because it stinks, you know, sitting there and everybody knowing you got a wife, and she's
the
not
judgment
there.
reigns.
Yes.
The judgment.
Yes,
From the
I wasn't
heavens.
going anywhere.
yeah. But anyway, look at that. Look at that. I just like looking at the camera and looking at you.
I understand.
I'm gonna borrow one of those for a little bit later.
She
on.
hasn't been able to hear the sound bites, so when she sees the episode, it's going to be pretty funny.
I just played. Damn.
So you know, again, obviously, as you can tell from this this interview, I'm a knucklehead. I say dumb things, and
Have you listened to this show?
I'm
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Did he just drop a JC during this section of the?
Yeah, my bad.
You know, it's funny.
I'm flawed too.
In high school, I had all of my friends because I would never ever use the Lord's name in vain. So it was always, you know, John Cougar and Mad Doggett. Mad Doggett, you know, and you know, they were all onto that. You know, by the end of it, they all was John Cougar and Mad Dog, which is GD backwards. But yeah, so
there you go.
So yeah, I'm a worship leader. Again, I probably say and do things that I shouldn't, and I'm 100% aware of it. But I just have a dumb mouth that just says dumb things.
Dude, me too.
And that's why she loves me. Right?
One of the many.
Yes.
One of the many.
One of the many reasons.
Yes.
Claim it.
There's a few.
There's a few reasons. Well, let's ramp up the song again. Remember, this is Shawn Few here.
It is.
Yeah. I love it. So fun having this music. So before we say goodbye, let's give some audience some info. What you got?
What info would you like?
Well, they already know we're awesome.
Yeah. YouTube.
You are.
Thank you.
Facebook. YouTube is the preferred method of watching
Especially this
nonsense. And we're on Spotify, Pandora, Apple, Stitcher, everywhere.
Yeah, and I want to keep pushing this, and we will every episode. We have merchandise at a retail location.
Boba Cream.
Boba Cream.
He's watching.
He pays attention. I love
He pays
it.
attention.
Shirts, hats, coffee mugs, and tumblers. 131 West Commerce Street, right here in Hernando. Go to msbobacream.com. You walk in, right to the left, you'll see our little shelf. And while you're there, say hello to Ryan and Darlene Duran. They're awesome. It's a cool little family business, and their food and drinks are amazing. So please check it out. And as always, Linktree, Patreon, you know the deal, tip jar, the whole bit. So, and man, so thanks so much, Shawn. This was awesome.
It's been a blast.
For coming
And
in, you know.
In closing, I want to say thank you to you guys because this has desperately been needed. I mean, you were pushing Memphis music right to the front, and it's in my Facebook feed every week. And there's we can't do it without people like you and the fans that come and see us play. I have to say this. Michael Hall, who heads up our Facebook page, Michael Hall, super fan Jessica, who sat there last night right in front of the speaker.
I saw that.
But she got some amazing videos for it's people like them and Steve Owens
Yeah.
that make our jobs.
Danny Day.
You just solidified your invite back to the show.
Well, as an extension of that, I mean, this is it came from that being a fan and just being a lover of music.
Yep.
And I can't thank you guys enough.
Man.
And like I said, it's in my Facebook feed.
Well, thank you for coming on and talking to us, and we're going to let you say bye to everybody in your best Paul Stanley voice.
I want to tell y'all been a dynamite audience, and you deserve to give yourself a round of applause. Let's go. Oh, yeah. I want to say thank you so much. Thank you. I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore.
We've been on the mic over an hour.
All right. Well, that's Derek.
That's Jeff.
That's Shawn. Carrie. We love you.
All right. Take care, everybody.
See you soon.